NESTA is a really exciting part of the creative challenge of Britain. It is the single biggest endowment in the UK at the moment, and it's designed to enhance the creative capacity of this country, to make this country more innovative. But we're particularly proud of our partnerships here in Scotland. Scotland, as everybody knows, has a very powerful tradition within the creative industries, and NESTA has run a whole set of pilot projects with a variety of partners that we're really privileged to work with to maximise the commercial impact of the creative talent that there is in Scotland.
The partnership between NESTA and the Scottish Arts Council brought together two, in a sense, different cultures, each with enormous energy. NESTA brought science, technology into a kind of marriage with the arts. The Scottish Arts Council on the whole has tended to emphasise the intrinsic value of the arts, but increasingly we're realising that all of these, if they work together, create enormous benefits for the whole of the country. We call it creativity, we call it the creative economy, and a partnership between NESTA and the Scottish Arts Council signals to the country that this combination is very productive for everyone.
There are two ways in particular that NESTA has found great success in developing creative talent in the UK in general, but in Scotland here in particular. The first is by working as a catalyst together with other partners. And a number of our programs, but in particular our Starter for Six program, has showed how effectively and efficiently NESTA can work in bringing a whole range of partners together to foster creative talent. But of course the second way is NESTA itself taking risk and taking a pioneering approach to new programs, trialling new programs, building the evidence for their success, passing those programs on to others, and then trialling others. It's a very unique way of developing creative talent.
New businesses often bring new ideas, new generation talent, better understandings of where society, culture and business are moving in the future. So startup culture is fundamental, but it's also massively difficult because startup companies are always undercapitalised, they never have the right kind of collateral behind them from the beginning. Banks may be suspicious of them, the area they're working in may be on the margins, presumably, of business, and therefore not yet proven. They don't necessarily have a track record, they don't necessarily have accounts audited over 10 years. So startups need to be nurtured in exactly the same way that any new shoots or developments need to be supported. Is fundamental. I think that we need many, many more startups, and to support them through the critical 2 or 3 or 5 years of their early growth. That's where Starter for Six, I think, really comes in. It looks at startup businesses and gets behind them.
The Starter for Six programme clearly is bringing money into the Scottish economy, a lot of money. It brings its own money in from NESTA, but it leaves a lot of money in from other agencies. So that's always good. That in a sense is leavening the whole creative economy in Scotland. But I think it's also doing something far more important, which is investing in the brains of people, the ideas of people. Economy actually starts in the heads of people who get a great idea about a new video game, a new invention, a new way of cleaning cars, of vacuuming carpets. These all start as ideas in the human brain, which is the most astonishing thing in creation. And I think that the beauty of this particular programme is that it's investing essentially in the ideas of clever people.
NESTA invests in innovation, and it does that in a number of ways, many of which are innovative. It has a very enlightened view of investing in new companies, startup businesses, companies that are new to market, companies that are in new areas of markets that aren't yet fully known. And it's the early stage of investment that simply the commercial world, whether that's your local bank or whether it's capital investors or venture capitalists, would simply not wish to be in because it's risky, it's difficult, it's unproven.
We can take really long-term bets on things. We're particularly proud of a small but growing technology portfolio that we have, where young entrepreneurs have come to us after everybody has turned them down. The banks have turned them down, the venture capital houses have turned them down, some of the public funds have turned them down, and they've turned them down because their time horizons are too long. And that's where NESTA comes in. NESTA is all about risk. So NESTA can take risks, and in particular, NESTA can take long-term risks.